welcome to the latest video in the series of my garden room build. Now it's been a few months since the last video, but there's been lots of progress. I've also had lots of new subscribers in that time as well, so thank you for subscribing and I hope you enjoy the next set of videos. Today we are fixing the cladding to the garden room, and the first thing I'm doing is starting by fitting the fascia board and the vents which will allow the air to circulate over the top of the roof space. It's now time to start fixing the cladding. I've opted for 15cm feather edge board, mainly because it's the most cost-effective cladding option, but also because you can get it in larger lengths. These boards were 4.8 metres in length, which meant I'd not had to have any joints, and it also happened to minimise any wastage. I've overlapped the boards by 3cm, which is required so that you don't have any gaps or weak spots in the cladding as it expands and contracts over time with the weather. Note there is also an optimum position for fixing the boards along each batten. You should use one nail just above the overlap, which keeps the board free to expand and contract. This nail should be close enough though to the previous boards that it doesn't split, but far enough away that it doesn't go through two boards, preventing the board from flexing. Because of the 45-degree wall, I actually had some really tricky angles to cut when the feather edge met the corner trim. I think technically the shape of the pieces were a trapezium, and there were mitre cuts then on each end. You can just about make this out in the video. There probably was a clever way to calculate exactly what the angles should have been, but in the end I just decided to use trial and error until I got it right. Once I had a piece cut, then I was able to replicate this with all of the pieces going up the wall. The rest of the cladding is then pretty much the same. It's not really very difficult, it's just fairly time consuming. When it comes to the finish around the doors and windows, I've cut down some gravel board timber and fixed this around the outside to create a box-like profile. You could nail this straight into the OSB in the frame, but I've found another method which has worked quite well. I've positioned the battens around the edge, pre-drilled them, and then screwed through these into the back of the boards. This ultimately gives the frame some solid fixings, whilst also being aesthetically pleasing, as you cannot see any fixings from the visible side. I used the same method for the corner trim pieces. the cladding done, the last thing to do is to give it a couple of coats of wood preserver. Not only will it hopefully protect the colour of the wood for a longer period of time, but it will also obviously protect the wood itself from the elements. I'm planning on giving it a coat or two each year. Here is the finished exterior, and I'm really happy with the result. What do you think? Let me know, like, comment, subscribe. Now that we're finally watertight, it's time to move on to the inside. So we'll see you in the next video.